Here we
All right,
are.
what's up? Here we go. Welcome to the live show. It's a Tuesday. We had to take yesterday off, Vince.
Yeah,
Uh, we were gone for the weekend.
that's right.
So I've been blessed. So fortunate. I'm sure most of you know I'm engaged. My partner Julia, she did her bachelorette party a couple weeks ago, and I got to do mine this past weekend. So we
That's
we
right.
got
We did
to
your bachelorette party this weekend.
I did my bachelorette party this past weekend with all you ladies.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we got to tear it
Cis
up
girls, yep.
in Lake Tahoe. Got to get on a boat, and we put the work in.
That's right.
My dad asked me, "So what'd you guys do?" I said, "I put a lot of work in on the alcohol." So I said, "We didn't go overboard, but we maintained a pretty damn high level." So the boys put the work in. So thank you guys to my groomsmen and to the guys who showed up and celebrated with me on this joyous occasion. It really means a lot to me that you guys were all there, and I just want to say thank you. And we got to watch the some football together. We're going to get
Right.
into that. So Sunday we got to watch the Raiders. We got to watch the 49ers. It was a lot of fun. So
Yeah,
with that, let's sports talk radio. Let's
that's
get to
right.
it, Vince.
Yeah. Let's start with your guys because you guys we actually got to watch the full game of yours. Because your team started off 10 a.m. Sunday morning, local time for us, because you were playing in New England, and your boys held on. You got the W. Um, A little bit, not exactly the highest scoring affair. But let's talk about what you saw. What'd you like? What leaves you concerned? What'd you think of the game?
Vince, the Raiders pull out a huge win in Foxborough for the first time in decades. If anybody is out there in the chat, and this is to you, Vince, as well, can you name the last head coach and quarterback combination to go into Foxborough and win on the road against New England?
Um, in New England and win for the Raiders. Uh,
Give me the head coach and the quarterback.
the head coach and quarterback. Oh, geez. I'm gonna go really old school. Ooh, um, was it Tom Flores and freaking I got who even was his quarterback when he was
It
coach? I don't
was
know
it was
who was it.
you're not far off. It
Hmm.
was decades ago.
Yeah.
Art Shell and Jeff Hostetler.
Okay. Okay.
Holy
Okay.
moly.
Okay.
What a oof. Dude, it's been a while. So, all right. The Raiders pull off a wonderful week 1 victory. Something that, as I said last week, I think the Raiders are going to be competing for a wild card spot, and you desperately needed to go up into Foxborough and get the win. They did just that. The opening drive, Vince, results in a touchdown pass from Geno Smith to Trey Tucker. The first half, after that play, the first half, the Raiders struggled a little bit. They go into halftime trailing 7-10, but they make halftime adjustments on both sides of the ball. The third quarter, the Raiders get some action going with Ashton Genty, and he powers his way through for a touchdown where he muscled his way in there, and I think that's going to be the first touchdown of many for the young man's career. Speaking about Genty, he didn't have a big time numbers game, so he didn't have a whole lot of yards, and I know people are gonna complain about that. But I think his game showed up in a lot of other areas, Vince. He was great in the pass blocking game. He was great in being a release valve to Geno Smith and just catching some balls out of the backfield, getting some first downs and getting some yardage out there. So he's going to be a running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield as well. So I think he's going to be a player that's just going to get better and better as the season goes on. As he gets more reps, he's just going to get better because I do believe he's going to be that dude. The Raiders defense in the first half did look really shaky. The middle of the field was open. Drake May was passing the ball really well. The running game was getting some action. But in the second half, things really changed. Pete Carroll made some adjustments defensively. We knew Chip Kelly was going to make some adjustments offensively, and that's exactly what happened. Mad Max started flashing. Kuntz started flashing to the player that he was a couple of years ago, and the recently acquired Booker the Fourth from Philadelphia, he started to flash. And what I really like about the defensive front of the Raiders, they are all D linemen that have motors. They get after it and they have waves. So all of their defensive linemen, especially in that second half, really wore out that New England offensive line, and they all started to disrupt Drake May's passing, disrupting the pocket. And New England essentially abandoned the running game. I think they rushed the ball like 2 or 3 times in the second half. It was something crazy. My biggest excitement about this win, Vince, it's the adjustments. It's the ability to adjust from the first half to the second half and the mental toughness that Pete Carroll brought to the game and to this team. I think it was on display. There's definitely some things that they need to clean up. The Raiders O line made a lot of mistakes. JPJ, the personal foul stuff, it needs to stop. Like you're already being targeted. Like the referees are looking for you to do these stupid mistakes. You're not a stupid person. Stop making these mistakes. You're hurting the team because he does have the ability to be the guard that Genty lines up behind and just plows through. He's that good of a player. He just needs to clean up these these mental mistakes. For the most part, Gino did have he was able to stand tall and sling it a little bit. And I mean, he went over what I think it was 362 yards or 352 yards or something like that. So he looked really good. And if you give Gino a clean pocket, he's going to have the ability to pick a defense apart. Uh,
Yeah, I have it right here. He's 24 of 34 for 362. He had a TD and a pick. That's a 102.8 passer rating. So yeah, solid game, pretty solid game. Unafraid to sling it. Yeah.
and in a pocket that was kind of messy, he made it happen. And his accuracy was on display. There were some passes where it was like, no, 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 yes, 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 yes. And that was just on on a rope, and you could see the ability of Geno Smith, and why they went out and got him. I said this when we were up there in Tahoe watching the game, Vince. Statistically, he was a top 7 passer statistically. So you put a top 7 passer on this Raiders offense, you add Genty, you already have Brock Bowers, you have Jacoby Myers, who's Mr. Consistent. He doesn't drop anything. He doesn't have the blazing over the top speed, but anything that is near him, he catches. So you have a bunch of players that are really consistent on this offense and have the ability. And that's what Geno Smith did. He spread the ball. Mike Mayer got involved. Trey Tucker got involved. Genty caught a couple passes. The rookie Mike Betch caught a couple
Jack
balls.
Besh, yeah.
So, Jack Beach got a couple balls. So the ball was all over. It was being spread around. They were moving the chains. Chip Kelly deserves a lot of credit for making these adjustments and putting together a modern offense. Look at on the other side of the ball in New England. Josh McDaniels still couldn't make any adjustments. He just kept doing what he wanted to do
Mhm.
rather than adjusting his game plan. He just kept doing what didn't work. And
Right.
that's what we saw when he was the Raiders coach. That's what we saw when he was the Denver coach. And I think that's what New England's offense is going to be. I think New England's offense is going to look terrible just because of Josh McDaniels. It's not because Drake May and some of their players stink. I definitely think they need more talent, but they're going to be held back because of Josh McDaniels. I don't think he's really that good, especially when I've seen him here with the Raiders in zero adjustments. But overall, Vince, in closing, it was just really great to see a win on the road at the 10 o'clock spot, where historically the Raiders just soil themselves. At some point, I was just like, oh my God, please, please don't do this. Not on week one, and they hold it together. So that's been my biggest thing is they made the halftime adjustments. They come out, they're pros, the excitement, the energy, the competition. And it just really reinforced what I've been seeing in the offseason and what I've been hearing from the beat reporters and things like that is that this team is a totally different team. They're a totally different animal. This is not the same old Raiders. I don't think they have elite talent to get to a Super Bowl, but I think they're a team that's going to be sneaky good. They're going to be really physical. They're going to show up and want to have a rock fight. And those teams are dangerous because they want to punch people in the mouth. They want to get punched in the mouth. That's what Pete Carroll's about. And it just gives me reassurances that they are going to compete in the AFC West and compete for that wild card spot as I predicted. So I'm fired up, baby. That's all I
uh,
got. I'm fired up.
Yeah, when I look at the team stats, just comparing the two teams, overall, your time of possession, the Raiders had 29 minutes and 55 seconds compared to 30 minutes and 5 seconds for the Patriots. So basically dead even.
Yep.
Turnovers were one apiece. But when you look at like the counting stats, the basic difference was the difference in the score. The Raiders had one extra drive that went for a touchdown. And when you look at it, total yards, the Raiders had 389 to 336 for the Patriots. You're talking about, 65 yards, and that's starting. That's basically one extra full length of the field drive starting from the 30 from your own 35. And you had three extra first downs than the Patriots. Like that's the difference between the game, right? You have one more successful drive. It's getting the job done. So it feels good to get a win on opening week, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So there's your difference, and yeah. You're feeling good. I'm
Feeling
feeling
good, baby.
uh my turn, I guess. Was ugly, but it gets the job done. The Niners do end up getting the win 17-13 at Seattle on Sunday. They had the afternoon game. Jake Moody, he missed a 27-yard field goal attempt near the end of the first half. He had another attempt blocked in the third quarter from the left side when the left side of the line collapsed on a 36-yard attempt. Uh, he made a game-tying field goal in the fourth quarter, but that wasn't enough to save his job as he was waived this morning. The Niners then signed Eddie Pinheiro as a replacement. Here we go. Eddie Pinheiro currently now has the third highest all-time field goal percentage behind Justin Tutcher and Harrison Butt Kicker. So three upstanding gentlemen. So truly. That's that. Hopefully, that's the only time we have to say those guys' names. Anytime soon. Um, so Jake Moody, I'm glad we recorded today instead of yesterday, man, because I don't know how the hell I was gonna talk about him if he was still like on the roster. This was bad. It was really bad, and I was ready to say cut him. I was ready to say cut him, and they cut him. So now I can say thank goodness he's gone. It's like I'm one of the optimists. I always try to look for the bright side. Like I was hoping, I mean, you heard me during week 2 in the preseason, hopefully, the one kick to, win the game or whatever. You hope that was something that would turn it around for him. But then when you go and miss two gimmies like that in opening weekend, that's it. Like, there's this thing called a sunk cost fallacy. And when you spend a third round pick on somebody, especially a kicker, you really don't want that to, like they give you every chance to prove that you're not the guy. And Jake Moody uh gave the Niners every chance to prove that he wasn't the guy, and they finally had enough. And I guess Eddie Pinheiro said answered the phone first and said, "Yeah, I'll fly out to the Bay." And here we are.
I remember when we were talking about the Raiders and 49ers and Moody hit that game winning kick. And yeah, you want to win the game, but it's a preseason game. So
Yeah,
it's kind of like, eh. And I said, I think I said this to you off air that if it was a regular season game, he probably misses it. So,
yeah.
and he just hasn't been consistent.
Mhm.
and that has to be one of the worst week 1 performances.
It's bad. It was so bad.
You know, so
You
yeah,
barely kept your job, and during anytime anybody asked Kyle at this point, like after that, he said that kickers basically are always auditioning for their jobs, going forward at that point. So he knew he was on thin ice. They retooled his kick through the entire offseason as well. So they truly gave him every opportunity to hang on to his job. They really wanted him to to succeed. They really wanted him to keep this job, and they even let Greg Joseph go because of the injury situation. Like that the Niners went through during the preseason because of the roster constraints. They had to let Greg Joseph go, and so Moody kind of by default ended up winning that that the job in the preseason.
right.
But he knew he was on thin ice, and he just fell through that ice right away. Like if there was somebody available on the roster that could have kicked field goals at halftime, he probably wouldn't have been kicking them in the second half, man. Like that was after that miss in the and we were watching that game at a bar. It was bad. That miss was bad.
He got booed.
He got booed,
The
man.
the fans at the bar were booing him while
Yeah.
we were watching the game,
Yeah, I was one of them.
and, yeah,
I
he was
yeah,
being booed.
Mr. Positivity was booing. It's yeah. So anyway, okay. So moving on, the Niners do end up getting the win, thankfully. And they sign Eddie Pinheiro. We're moving on. So the Niners did have some injuries in that game. Uh, Fred Warner got kicked in the face. Trent Williams had an ankle injury. Uh, George Kittle had a hamstring injury, and Jawan Jennings had a shoulder injury. Warner and Williams did return to the game. Jennings and Kittle did not. Jennings avoided major injury and is considered day to day. Kittle is going to miss at least 4 weeks with that hamstring injury. He's placed on the IR today. Brock Purdy also had 2 injuries from that game as well. He has a left shoulder injury, and he also has a little toe injury as well. That's going to put him in doubt for week 2 at New Orleans. So Mac Jones may end up getting some game time as well. He was going to at least be practicing with the ones this week. So, oh boy. The injuries, man. Here we go again. The Niners, they did give Colton McKivitz, the offensive tackle, a 3-year, $45 million extension, $27 million guaranteed. And they also brought back an old friend to help with some of these injuries. Kendrick Bourne, the wide receiver, he's coming back on a 1-year deal to sort of just help with this wide receiver depth issues. So, yeah, man, this as far as the game goes, it was ugly. I'm glad that they were able to pull it out, even with the kicker problems. Uh, and the injury concerns. You found the third string tight end who stepped up when Kittle couldn't go, and when we saw Kittle with the hat on, instead, like immediately after he went into the tent, you knew that was going to be a problem. So Brock on that fourth down, we were like at a beach at that point, and I was watching the game on my phone, and they found the third string tight end went up and snatched the ball out of the defender's hands uh for that touchdown. That was great, and I was hyped. I was screaming on the beach at that point. That was great. I was ecstatic, and I don't even know. I'm sure that church group or whoever the hell that was, they were probably I don't know. They
Who's this
saw
psycho?
yeah, they saw some guy in red, assumed I was the devil. I'm sure that was great. Love that. Love that for me. Don't matter, whatever. El Diablo right here. Bring it on, baby. Let's go. Niners are 1-0. We're on to New Orleans. The easy schedule begins now. So here we go. Let's keep it rolling. Mac Jones can beat the New Orleans Saints with this scheme. We've seen Kyle Shanahan turn Nick Mullins into a capable quarterback. So I believe Mac Jones. If it has to be Mac Jones, I believe the Niners can still get the job done. So I'm not as worried about that part of it. I hope it's Brock. Don't get me wrong. Like I would love for
Yeah,
it to be Brock, and I would love for Brock to be healthy and everything to work out. If it's not, so be it. We'll make do and we'll go from there. Too bad Tyler's not on. He would be, talking crap about how his Eagles also got the job done. And even though uh Dak Prescott lured his you know lured it his Eagles starting defensive tackle into
uh,
spitting on him and then getting ejected on the first play of the game. So that was not the best look by Jalen Carter. But yeah, that's kind of a little gamesmanship there, I guess.
yeah,
Not the best look, but the Eagles still got the job done. They get the W there, and all three of us end up either going into Tahoe or leaving Tahoe with dubs for our teams. And we're on to week 2. We're on the victory sheet, and we're loving life as it is. Even with the struggles, so they seem.
absolutely, man. I'm stoked.
Yeah. All right. I think it's time to switch gears. Let's talk about the Valkyries because they had 5 games since the last time we talked about them. We didn't talk about them last week because we just wanted to focus on the beginning of the football season. But basically, this last week they clinched a playoff spot. This is huge, huge news. This is the first time ever in WNBA history that an expansion team is going to the playoffs. This is big, man. This is awesome. Yeah. This is the other teams that have been the closest. You had the Atlanta Dream, the Miami Soul, and then the team that is now the Connecticut Sun and the Detroit Shock. They all did it in 2 seasons. The Detroit Shock are also the only other expansion team to finish with a winning record in their first season. They just barely missed out on the playoffs in their first year. So that's huge. Yeah, you look at other expansion teams. The Seattle Storm took 3 years. Indiana Fever took 3 seasons. The Washington Mystics took 3 years. The Minnesota Lynx, who kind of have they're leading the planet right now. They're the 1 seed going into the playoffs. They also have, I think, 4 championships now at this point. It took them 5 years. The Chicago Sky, it took them 8 seasons to make the playoffs. The first iteration of the Portland Fire, they only lasted 3 years before ownership decided to fold the team. They didn't get a chance to get to the playoffs. So yeah, the Golden State Valkyries really got the job done. And not only did they get the job done, the fans got the job done as well. They sold out every single home game, all 22 of them. And in doing so, that sets an all-time WNBA attendance record for average attendance and total fans. So that's 18,064 average, and then total fans 397,408. Uh, so that's a record. So way to go, Golden State Valkyries and the fans for showing up big time. Over the last week, they went the last 2 weeks, excuse me, they went 4-1. They get wins against the Washington Mystics and Indiana Fever. They Last week they beat the New York Liberty and Dallas Wings, and they end up dropping the final home game against the Minnesota Lynx, who are, of course, the number 1 seed going into the playoffs. They are currently the 6th seed in the WNBA at 23 wins, 19 losses. Yeah, they're looking great heading into the playoffs. So this is awesome. And yeah, this is great. They got 2 final games left. They're going to both be on the road. They're at Seattle Storm on Tuesday. They're at Minnesota on Thursday, and I believe they are either really close or may have already sewn up the number 6 seed. I Yeah, they're really close to locking that up. They have the tiebreakers over Indiana and Seattle. If Indiana loses tonight, then Golden State locks up the 6th seed. So
Yeah,
I
I'm
believe
looking at it
that's the
right now. Yep.
situation.
Mhm.
So that's where we're at right now. It is really close. Yeah. And as far as playoffs go, I believe Indiana has clinched a playoff spot. It looks like uh, the the LA Sparks they're currently in the 9 seed. Seattle is sitting in the 8th spot, and I think they're going to they're a game and a half up is what it looks like right now, and they're 1 game clear in the loss column. They're 2 games up in the win column. So it looks like curtains on the LA Sparks season, although I think mathematically, I don't know where the tiebreakers are between the two of them. I didn't look at that beforehand. There was one fun little thing that I saw from Paige Beckers, who, of course, is the rookie on the Dallas Wings. Um, she said she kind of paid homage to Steph Curry. She said, "I remember Steph Curry before the Warriors became the Warriors. He tweeted out, 'Just stick with us. We're gonna figure it out.' That's the message." So she obviously knows it's been a tough season for Dallas, and like she's obviously focused on winning. And the reference specifically that she's making is to the Steph Curry tweet. He said, "Promise to all the Warriors fans, we will figure this thing out. If it's the last thing we do, we will figure it out." And scoreboard, they did figure it out. I don't know if the Dallas Wings will figure it out. They certainly won't figure it out with the current head coach they have, and that's not just me saying it. That's everybody that watches the W saying the same thing as well. But we'll see what happens there if they figure it out, or if Paige has to go somewhere else and then figure it out there. If she wants to come over here to the Bay Area, wouldn't mind that. Anyway,
Wouldn't mind that.
yeah,
Yep.
worst things would happen. We would love for that to, come true, but obviously that's like that's down the road. She's obviously under uh team control with Dallas for the next couple of years at least. So yeah, that's basically what's going on in the W for now. We there is some stuff going on with the Connecticut Sun. We don't necessarily have to go into it right now, but just know that there is like the team is trying to be sold, and the WNBA like commissioner has kind of got her finger on the like scale a little bit, putting her thumb on the scale. And so there's some stuff that we may do a deep dive when we have more time to talk about it later. And it doesn't look great, man. It
Yeah,
feels a little
I read
gross.
a little bit about it. Yeah, I read a
Yeah,
little bit about
so
it.
we can talk about it a little bit more when we have a little bit more time, when there's a little more downtime, and maybe when things actually have a little bit more resolution, because right now things are just still up in the air. But if you're a little bit more curious, there's a lot of other people that have written articles, and I don't know, just even written like Instagram stories about it, and like just like you can take a look for yourself. But the Mohegan Sun tribe is getting kind of screwed a little bit here, it sounds like. So you can take a look as well if you're curious. But
Yeah.
we can go into that another time. As we're talking, oh my goodness, I was literally about to switch gears to soccer. Tim, go ahead and switch it to the US soccer image. Um, I look up at the score. The US men's national team are playing right now. I was going to say they lose to South Korea on Saturday. They're currently playing Japan. I look up, and the US men's national team just scored. Folarin Balogun just scores. He gets a pass from Christian Pulisic and beats the keeper. This is the second goal of the game. And he beats him on a sweet little pass. He beats him uh from he beats him to the far side, and it's he beats him low. It's great goal. It literally just happens right now. It's about the 62nd minute, I think. Arfston, I think, with the pass, actually, not Christian Pulisic. They both have similar haircuts. Sorry. Uh 64th minute from Folarin Balogun, excuse me. And then Zendejas got a goal in the 30th minute as well. That was a nice little piss rocket that he scored as well. So right now the US men's national team is up 2-0 on Japan after getting absolutely demolished by South Korea 2-0 on Saturday. They're responding quite amazingly. Like I'm astonished. I didn't think this team had it in them, to be honest. I was ready to rip them apart, but just every time I look up right now, they're playing a lot better than I honestly thought was possible right now. So maybe like uh it's amazing. Pochettino has been preaching patience with this team right now. And it's going to be interesting to hear what some of the big wigs are saying. I'm going to have to actually watch this game back. I think with a little bit more of a closer eye on it. Obviously, we've been talking about other stuff right now, so I haven't been focusing as heavily on this game. But I'm gonna have to watch this and see, is Japan just playing poorly, or did the U.S. men's national team actually figure something out? Because this is amazing right now.
Well,
Yeah, I
hopefully
don't
they
know, man.
figured it out.
Yeah, I'll have to look into it and get back to y'all, because this is like I hope that they figured something out. Heading into the World Cup that we're hosting in 9 months now. At this point, we're it's it, it is right around the corner. They're playing in Los Angeles in June, for
Right.
games that really matter. So we'll see. But if they've actually figured something out, this is great news. If this is just a little bit of fool's gold, that's still to be determined. But uh, yeah, Japan is a quality opponent. So I don't know if Japan has brought their top notch starters or not as well. So I don't know. Like I'll dig in and get back to you on that. That being said, they were embarrassed by South Korea as well, though. Like that. Like
Yeah.
I don't want to over. I don't want to understate that. They looked. They were outgunned, outmanned, outnumbered, outplanned. To borrow words from the great American Lin Manuel Miranda. It was bad, man. Like just everything, every highlight that I saw, it was just embarrassment. And yeah, they looked okay on some of the attacks, but they were just basically lured into a trap every time, and then the counterattack hit, and South Korea just kind of lured them right into it, and then they just snapped and got two really easy goals on them. Basically, it was bad.
Yeah.
Anyway, so there's your men's national team update. As this game continues, if something else happens, I'll break in. It's just I keep, if you see me glance up, that's me looking at the TV, just seeing if something else unique happens. So I'll switch gears to Bay FC real quick. We had 2 games since we last talked about them. Excuse me while I refresh the vocal cords there. They lost both of those games. One of those was at Angel City FC, that was on Labor Day, and then they lost at home against Kansas City Current on Saturday. So the Angel City game, that loss was basically, as far as I'm concerned, that was the end of the season emotionally. Uh, the Kansas City loss. Kansas City's the top team in the league. I had no expectations of winning that game. Right now, Bay FC is now they're sitting in 12th place. There, there's no hope to crawl into the playoffs at this point. Uh, they have since also lost Asisat Oshawala. She is moving to the Saudi Women's Premier League, Al Hilal. That agreement was the terms of that agreement have not immediately been disclosed as of the time it was like released. But she was the top goal scorer for the team last year. That being said, she never really got the defensive responsibilities down for that you need to have for an NWSL league. And so she lost a lot of playing time, especially this season, and just never really got there. Like she has an amazing scoring touch, but in the NWSL, you can't just be an offensive minded player. That's not how the game works over here. In Barcelona, she was scoring goals like crazy, but you can't just do that. And that's part of the reason why Kunda Nanji does pretty well here, because she's willing to play both ways. She goes back and plays defense and then hustles back, and then is willing to go attack as well. Oshiwala doesn't really have the defensive hustle, the defensive mindset on that. So that's why she's no longer here, and BayFC loses another key piece there. That although that being said, BayFC did pick up uh Brooklyn Courtnall. She is a defender, another defender. They need more defenders. She's a Canadian international. She's a under 20. She was on the under 20 team for Canada. She's she played at looks like she was college was Southern Cal. Excuse me. There it is. So she's yeah, she was from the North Carolina Courage as well. She's on loan, so we'll see if they end up keeping her. That being said, it's sort of we just needed defensive help. Abby Dahlkemper's probably not coming back this season. She's still on excused absences at this point. It no longer lists a back injury as her absence now. It just says excused. Generally speaking, when a player in the NWSL has excused, it's a personal reason that they don't release, publicly. And I would say probably 85-90% of the time, if it's excused, it ends up being that the player is pregnant. We'll see if that's what it ends up being this
Right.
time. I don't know. Obviously, but if that is what the case is, congratulations. If it's not, if it's something else, obviously I hope all is well with her. But we'll see. It was a back injury before that, so hopefully, the back is fine. Everything is working out. Like obviously we wish the best for whatever it is. Other news out of BayFC though. This is actually huge, and this is something that happened while we were out in Tahoe. The head coach Albertine Montoya is going to step away from the team at the conclusion of this season. So this is actually huge. This is kind of what we were looking for, I think, as fans. Like he's somebody who's kind of a legend at the youth level. He's somebody who does great work at the youth level, but then at the professional level, it's he had success in 2010 when with like one of the old leagues, but other than that, it hasn't worked with the professional level. But at the youth
Right.
level, at the development level, he's really really good with that kind of stuff. And I think he set a he set a fairly decent foundation. Like he's good at that kind of stuff, but he's not a guy that's gonna get them over the top. He sort of almost became a victim of Abby Dahlkemper coming over last season and getting the defense to play well and become
Right.
get successful and get into the playoffs. If the team hadn't made the playoffs last year, we wouldn't have been set up for having expectations like this, making the playoffs this year. So, or at least we wouldn't have been like demanding playoffs this year like
Right.
we were. And that's sort of unfortunate for him, but here we are. So at this point, he's going to play. He's going to. I believe the phrasing was he's going to coach the rest of the year, and then he's going to step aside once the season ends. And it feels like it's a way to sort of let him leave, sort of like a respectful way, and sort of keep his like keep everything, his dignity intact or whatever. And let's see, his statement was, I have so much love for these players, staff, and fans. We built a culture and a style of play that I believe will compete for championships for years to come. I thank everybody at the organization for the support. I look forward to finishing this season strong and for this club continuing to accomplish great things. And then the team said that they're going to let's see, look for somebody to help put Bay SE in the best position to compete at the highest level for years to come. So, yeah, so basically generic, speak for looking for the next coach. I don't know who it's going to be at this point. There's always a number of great candidates available, and we'll see who it is. And whenever they do announce who that person is, I'll do a deep dive and let you know what I think and what the general fan base thinks of that person as well. So yeah,
All right.
cool. Let's move on. Yeah, I'm gonna
Let's
take a
jump to the
breath.
hockey.
Yeah,
Yeah, let's
let's
do
turn to
hockey.
hockey. We're gonna save Wrexham for next week for Tyler.
Yeah, let's jump over to hockey. Some really big news coming out of San Jose. The city of San Jose and the Sharks agreed to a 25-year lease extension on the SAP Center, officially keeping the team teal in the tank until 2051. All right. We don't got to worry about this team relocating. FJF, by the way, FJF. The city owns the building. Estimated $425 million in renovations is expected, and the Sharks are contributing $100 million plus the $100 million they've already done in upgrades over the past decade on the scoreboards, ice making systems, security, and other systems.
Yeah, the boards as well. The wall that the players run into too.
Yeah, smash into.
Yeah.
And I think they upgraded the Shark a couple years ago, right? About 5 or 6 years ago?
I don't know.
I thought they gave it a facelift, like they redid the LED lights
Oh yeah,
and
they put some new lights into them. Yeah.
right,
Also, I don't know if this is in here or not, but any overruns is actually going to be covered by the Sharks as well. So if
right.
so the city is not going to pay any more than what they've agreed to. Like the number that the city's putting in is like that's it. So anything over this is going to be covered by the Sharks as well. So
Yeah, and
yeah.
we have a note here that the city was getting some pushback from citizens,
Mhm.
that are in San Jose, and obviously the Sharks in the city come to a compromise about those overruns. So, I think, kind of relating it to with the A's and the Raiders leaving, the Bay Area, I don't think we're not opposed to cities having to put money for like infrastructure and things like that. Like if cities need to make a deal with the team to do it, that's fine. I just don't think they should be 100% financed by a city. It's okay to have concerns. It's okay to, um, have some pushback for the city. But it's just really great that they have a compromise that seems to work out for both sides.
Yeah. So yeah, just general notes on this as well. Yeah. So this is great. Like I saw some of these pictures as well, like some of the renderings. It looks good. It looks like they're gonna try to, widen and try to utilize some of the vertical space as well for the concourse, that's there. That's all of this stuff. It looks great in pictures. Obviously, we've seen renderings up the ass for a lot of different projects, and it sounds like the renovation is planned over 7 years during the off seasons. So that's going to be good. You're not going to miss any time or whatever. So they have about basically 3 months of construction going to happen. Um, and it's going to take about 7 years to do it because you got about 3 months to do it, but those are summer months as well. So you're going to have basically no off days of construction, right? Because it's summer months. So that's going to be great to know too. So yeah, the project's going to use union labor, so that's good. It's currently the oldest active arena in the NHL as well, with that hasn't already undergone a major renovation. Let's see what else. They've also both parties have agreed that a new arena is going to be needed by 2051 as well. So when
Right.
this agreement ends, it's going to be time for a new arena. So this renovation is going to get us through so when this ends, it's going to be new arena time after this. But at that point, we're talking what 60 years at this arena.
Yeah.
Between 50 and 60 years. That's what I would
By the
expect.
by the time this thing is
Yeah.
done, It's the
Yeah.
oldest arena in NHL. It would be
Yeah, outside of Madison Square Garden.
right.
So you know what? And that's fine. If you're gonna tell me that, you got 60 years out of an arena, I'm good with that. That's what I would expect out of a building. And you do one major reno halfway through its life, that's great. That makes sense to me. That tracks. Okay. Um, yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of I grabbed some of the PowerPoints that the city and the Sharks put together. There's a lot of notes and legal speaking here. That's great or whatever. So that stuff again is all available online as well. But yeah, so there's a lot of notes and you can go through that all yourself. It's all kind of boring and stuff. If you want to look at it yourself, that's great. But the important thing is the city is not going to be putting any more money into it that they don't already have allocated, that they don't already have planned for it at this point. So the city has they figured out what they can afford. They've drawn the line in the sand. That's what they can do. The Sharks have said yes, that's fair. They came together and they figured it out. And this is all infrastructure stuff, right? This is it's plumbing. It's the roads and stuff like that lead to the city, like
Mhm.
electrical and all this kind of stuff. That's the kind of stuff that I would think that the city would, want to, make sure the lights stay on
Absolutely.
in an arena. And this arena stays busy, a lot of concerts come through here
Right.
before Taylor Swift was doing NFL stadiums. She was at SAP Center. Okay. And every artist that comes through, if they don't do Chase Center now in San Francisco, they're doing SAP Center in San Jose. So it's one of those two now at this point. So yeah, a lot of people come through the stadium. Sometimes they do both. Elton John does both of them, or he did do both of them back when he was still touring, for example. Anyway, so there are some other just Sharks notes that I forgot to put in our show doc because I was crushed for time. The Sharks are going to play 6 nationally televised games this upcoming season on either ESPN or TNT, including, unfortunately, the season opener that's going to be on ESPN Plus. So, unfortunately, no Randy or Drew for our home opener. That's a bummer. But all other games are going to be on NBC Sports California. So your nationally televised games are going to be the home opener, are going to be your opener on October 9th against Vegas. You got the October 17th against Utah, October 28th against LA. And then you got 2 November games. And then you got the April 8th against Edmonton. I think that might even be the last game. And then everything else is going to be on NBC Sports. Okay. Other news, Ryan Clough, who was the assistant general manager, he's left the Sharks. He's going to be moving a little bit closer to home. He's going to join the Rangers as the assistant general manager there. So that kind of makes sense there. The Sharks also made a move to acquire the contract of goalie Carey Price, and they also acquired a 5th round draft pick in 2026 for some depth defenseman piece, Gannon LaRoque. So yeah, I like that move. What this contract does, Carey Price is not going to be playing for the Sharks. Okay, so let's get that clear. He has not played a game since 2022. Okay, all that this move does is if the Sharks are bad again and they need to trade away some pieces, it lets the Sharks stay above the salary cap floor. Okay. So that's very important. So that way they can acquire more, draft pieces. If the team is not performing well enough, if the season, if they find themselves, outside of the playoffs and they need to, if, and Mike Greer sees the writing on the wall and says, "Hey, it's not quite ready to happen this year," and he wants to load up just a little bit more. Um, Not quite tear it down to the studs, but fine tune a little bit more. He can trade away a couple more pieces and get some more picks, just for next year, and still stay above the floor. That's all that this move means. Okay. And because right now they are just barely above the floor by just like a couple of million, I think. So
Right.
and the Carey Price contract move, all that this means is now his checks come from the Sharks instead of the Montreal Canadiens. Okay. And Carey Price even he even said on his thing, I'm always a Montreal Canadian. Right now it just means that I'm my Montreal Canadian is teal. That's it. Like,
Right.
so so that's all that this means. He's not suiting up, doesn't mean anything. Yeah, so as far as that goes, I think that basically covers that. There was one fun little fun thing that I had on the Sharks. It's like a little I want to play a game here. Right now there are 10 teams in the NHL that do not have their name on the Stanley Cup. That's the Buffalo Sabres, the Minnesota Wild, the Ottawa Senators, the Seattle Kraken, the Vancouver Canucks, the Columbus Blue Jackets, Nashville Predators, San Jose Sharks, Winnipeg Jets, and the Utah Mammoth, who of course were the Arizona / Phoenix Coyotes. And then oddly enough, they were the Winnipeg Jets before that. The Winnipeg Jets that currently exist, they were, of course, the Atlanta Thrashers before them. So, somebody asked, which team will be the first to break their cup drought before of the teams? Like, which of these 10 teams do you think is going to break their cup drought? And you look at them right now, the Winnipeg Jets are really, really good right now.
Right.
Utah Mammoth, San Jose Sharks are building towards being really good. Vancouver Canucks are a team that's like they're a team that's kind of close. Minnesota is a team that could get there as well. Yeah, Seattle, if they like like that's another one that they're like a draft or two away from maybe getting back into the playoffs as well. Columbus almost like rallied and made the playoffs last year after losing Johnny Gaudreau over the summer to that horribleness. So just to be a homer, I'm going to say the San Jose Sharks are the ones that are going to break the cup drought, and that's going to happen in the next 3 years. So I'm going to be a homer and I'm going to say that. Go Sharks. Although the Winnipeg Jets are probably in the best position if it's going to happen in the next 2 years, it would be the Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Jets.
they're really good.
Yeah, they're really good. They're close. Anyway, yeah. So that's that for that. I did have one note here on baseball. Our former team is going to play 6 regular season games in June in Las Vegas in 2026. June 8th to 10 versus Milwaukee, and then June 12th to 14th in versus Colorado. And so basically it's 2 series back to back. So condolences to those NL teams for having to be the first to endure this Vegas nonsense firsthand. I did have one game because of just how freaking just how hot Cal Raleigh is this year. Cal Raleigh has set the record for home runs record by a catcher. I don't last I checked he was at 50 something home runs. I don't know exactly what number he's at right now. But if you're looking at home run record by position, like like at first base is Mark McGwire with 70 home runs in 1998. Who do you think has the record at second base?
Jeff Kent or Soriano?
No, it's Marcus Semien.
Oh wow.
45 home runs in 2021. Our old friend.
Oh, wow.
Third base.
Third base, all-time home runs. A-Rod?
Yep, 54 in 2007. Shortstop.
A-Rod?
Yep, 57 home runs in 2002. Left field, this should be pretty easy.
Left field. Oh, Barry Bonds.
Yeah, 73 in 2001.
Yep.
Center field.
Center field. Ken Griffey Jr.
No, this Aaron Judge.
Aaron Judge.
58 homers in 2024. Sammy Sosa in right field in 1998 with 56. The record for DH,
Edgar Martinez.
David Ortiz. So there
David
you
Ortiz.
go.
Damn.
I don't know where Cal Raleigh is in home runs right now.
He has
but
53.
53. Okay, so that's your current record, 53 and counting for Cal Raleigh. So
Wow.
that's our fun fact. And you know, I wanted something nice about baseball to end the show on, you know, because yeah, I just, you know, even though I hate the man, I needed something happy to end
Yeah.
the show on, you know. So good on Big Dumper, you know. Good on you, kid. Yeah. All right. If you don't got anything else, that's it for me, I think.
That's it, man. I think we're done for the week. We're on a little bit of a break. We'll see you guys again on
Yep.
Monday.
Yeah, we'll be back to Mondays going forward. Yeah, we needed to do Tuesdays the last couple of weeks because of Labor Day and then because of Sam Day.
Yeah.
So thanks again for sticking with us if you have been. We appreciate you for liking and subscribing and hitting the bells to get those alerts for when we go live. Follow us on the social medias as well at SVT Sports Pod. Just remember FJF, and thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time. Thank you very much, everybody.
Good night, everybody.